Welcome to Tech Wars, the program that brings together industry experts to evaluate the merits of latest technology. We are your hosts for today, Diego Padilla and Andres Palavicini.
In today's episodes, we turn our attention to the intriguing shutdown between frameworks for automated programs, Selenium and Protractor, two of the more intriguing frameworks for automated testing there is in the market today.
As I said, I'm Diego Padilla and I am an SDT at Advancio. I will be entering this debate on defense of Selenium.
From me, I'm Andres Palavicini, and I'm a SDET at Advanced 2, and I will be on Team Protractor for this one episode.
So this debate will be discussed through 5 points: easier learning curve, the language support, test performance, community and documentation, and how are these reflected in the real work environment.
Me and Diego have established this debate for ourselves in a more entertaining way, and we'll be giving in a score on the rate of 1 to 5 separately from our perspective, how well it resolved these points, and at the end make you guys see which one is the better or the best framework for you.
Let's try to understand first what we mean by automated testing. In our automated testing, we simulate the actions of an end user through commands in the computer. Such actions can be like opening a web page, filling an input field, clicking a button. An advantage is that through automated testing, these actions can be done repeatedly without the need of supervision.
Automated testing also includes this manual effort too. On my personal opinion, I would say that Protractor could be a really great framework, especially designed for Angular and AngularJS applications. BDD built-in integrated, and things like could be the test execution speed is faster, the initial setup is easier than Selenium, and debugging is a little bit easy on Protractor, and there is a built-in support for mobile application. For this kind of things, I can consider that Protractor could be a really good options for any automation guy or stat guy. What do you think, Diego?
Well, I think that Selenium is the grandparent of most testing frameworks. And while this also means that the newer generations of testing frameworks have a chance being the cleaner, easier solution, I still think that Selenium prevails through the test of time. So first, let's introduce you guys by talking about each one's architecture before we start the debate, so you can understand how each one works. Selenium works through API commands, such as get and post, and will function based on the Selenium script request it gets. The request then gets sent to the HTTP server of the browser driver, as well as the browser through HTTP.
Well, Protractor API function as a wrapper around Selenium WebDriver, and the same. I mean, which this WebDriver simulate user interaction with Angular web application for a range of browsers and mobile devices. But Protractor comes with the combined power of Node.js and Selenium WebDriver, Jasmine and Cucumber and Mocha, which make it preferred for web app testing, built on top of WebDriver JavaScript. Let's begin with one of the important points, the learning curve. And let's make this simple. The easier the learning curve, the better.
For sure, we will be rating a 5 if this is super easy to learn, and a 1 if it is a headache. So how hard do you think Protractor is by itself?
From my perspective, Protractor doesn't have a proper wiki or documentation to explain things. I would rather to see pictures or video samples on their documentations for reference, like Cypress, but there's only code based block of coding blocks and text, and can be boring sometimes. But both frameworks, on my perspective, I mean Selenium and versus Protractor, have a big number of results and in YouTube tutorials or articles, web articles, which should be more than enough for a person aspiring to learn either of these frameworks. So how do you think Selenium does in this point, Diego?
I think that Selenium by itself is not the easiest framework to learn. But if you Google how do I click dot 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 in testing framework, if you do that, you'll get thousands and thousands of results, but only for Selenium. And this is because it is, as we mentioned, one of the older frameworks out there. So there are tons of free resources online. And while I think that by itself Selenium is harder to learn than Protector, its documentation and all of the free resources online gives it a little boost above Protector. So all of that being said, I'm giving Protector 3 out of 5. I really wanted to give it a higher score, but the truth is that there's just not that much documentation out of it, not even in the official page for Protector. So I think Andres about that 3 out of 5.
About Protractor, yes, I agree. Unfortunately, I agree with you because, as I mentioned, one of the things that I really don't like is the docs, Protractor docs, that doesn't have images or videos explain how to integrate any simple things, and could be overwhelming for uh, new guys trying to learn. Uh, and be involved in this automation work. And yeah, I agree. In my case, for Selenium, I would say 4 or 5 because, um, as you said too, you can Google it and you will get a bunch of results and any kind of actions or whatever you need.
Yeah, I agree, and that's kind of unfair for Protector. But yeah, the truth is Selenium has been a while out there. So 4 out of 5 it is.
Let's gonna talk about language support. I think we need to settle something up before we start talking about each framework language.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. First, we need to establish how and when we will be choosing, in quotes, a language.
Exactly. That is not the luxury that we can always afford. Realistically, you would only choose a specific language if your clients agrees with it. You also need to take other things on mind. For example, if the current project language has already been established, then you can start thinking about choosing a language of your preference and to your project needs.
Yeah, I get your point and I agree. Choosing a language is indeed a luxury, and if you plan to work with Selenium, you will be glad to know that it can handle a lot of languages. It can handle C Sharp, Java, Haskell, Perl, PHP, JavaScript, TypeScript, Ruby, Python, R, and maybe some more. We don't know, right?
Protractor only supports JS and TypeScript, and it is really good implementation for Angular projects in this case. So maybe if your project has uh, has built in Angular technology, you can consider Protractor as a really great option versus Selenium. For this topic, I would say that I will give Selenium 4 or 5 because, as you mentioned, can support JS, TypeScript, Ruby, Python, a bunch of language. I mean, could support probably all the program language. I don't know, but yeah, well, 4 or 5. What is your opinion here, Diego?
Yeah, I would even give Selenium a 5 out of 5. Truth be told, we have worked with Selenium JS before. It isn't the prettiest implementation of JavaScript, so of course, for that it's only 4 out of 5. And I will give Protector at 2 out of 5. And we can bump that to 4 out of 5 if your project uses JavaScript or TypeScript. And especially if your project uses Angular. Otherwise, will be 2 out of 5. So what, do you agree with that, Anders?
Unfortunately, yes. uh, and language support is Protractor is limited, so yeah, I agree. 2 of 5. About work, I think for this specific point can vary between person to person, and why? Because if it is your very first time learning a new automation framework and you start through a specific framework, like in this case, I would say Protractor, the problem could be that You will not know how you will adapt to a specific technology. This will depend on your coding skills, problem resolution, adaptability, and other skills. And maybe if you try a process with the Selenium Java project, the question can be very specific. And Protractor use a little bit different built-in commands.
Well, once you learn Selenium, the good thing about it is that since you pretty much create a project from the ground up, you will have the ability to adapt to any old or new generation framework. It's an advantage to finding a job in real work environment, and Selenium is still being used worldwide. So yeah, there are a lot of work opportunities out there. For this now, right now, I'm giving Protector a 3 out of 5. This can change in the future, in the following years, but as of now, Protractor just isn't as popular as other frameworks right now.
Let's gonna talk about finding job opportunities. For Protractor can be a really great opportunity because too many projects have built-in Angular. That could be a really great opportunity for finding a job or a project that use technologies like Protractor.
So learn Selenium. The good thing about it is that since you pretty much create a project from the ground up, you will have the ability to adapt to any old or new generation framework. It's an advantage to finding a job in real work environment, and Selenium is still being used worldwide. So yeah, there are a lot of work opportunities out there. Now for the score, this could change in the next years. Even so, Protector is a newer technology. There are a lot of Angular projects, and a lot of those could use of a testing framework like Protractor. For now, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5, just for the sheer difference in popularity between Protractor and Selenium. But, as we mentioned, this could change in the following years. So, what do you think with that score, Andres?
I agree, because you're right. Too many projects has built with Selenium. For Selenium, I would say 5 to 5 because then any kind of job opportunity
Definitely deserves a 5 out of 5, just in the job market alone. For the last point, let's talk about mobile testing. Both frameworks make use of Appium, which is an open source tool for automating native and hybrid web applications on iOS and Android mobile platforms.
As you mentioned, yes, you can integrate Protractor with Appium. Though as of now, Protractor doesn't have support Appium. Officially, you can still make it possible. You just need to set up the Appium configuration in your config file, and you need to set up and start your Appium server before running your tests. Basically, that is the main idea. But in general, yes, Protractor supports mobile testing. What about Selenium, Diego?
Well, now that you mention it, Appium itself uses Selenium WebDriver. So it is the same technology that Selenium uses through the appropriate HTTP request. It is easy to say that Selenium has a native Appium implementation. As things stand, both systems that make use of Appium. Alright, for this last score, since both of these frameworks use the same implementation of Appium, I'm planning to give both systems 5 out of 5. Do you agree with the decision, Andres?
Yes, I agree. 5 to 5 because both can support mobile testing.
Alright, for the last points and in conclusion, I would say that in the pro side for Selenium, it has high customization, it has multi-language support, great documentation, and many projects are built with Selenium even today. Now for the con side, I would say that Selenium is not easy to set up for beginners, nor easy to learn for beginners. This is in part because Selenium is very verbose. For anything that you want to do with Selenium, you probably will be writing a little bit more code than with other frameworks. And only to add to that, there are no built-in integrations. So you will be spending a lot of time maybe, a lot of time in your config file. So it is something that you need to take into account.
For Protractor side, pros can be easy setup, great adaptability with Angular projects, built-in features that reduce the verbose in the syntaxes. And cons, what I can say is there is no great documentation. It's limited to only JavaScript and a TypeScript language, and sometimes it is limited to Angular projects.
In conclusion, if you could start to learn a project with Selenium native integration, take it. It's always an excellent choice and a chance to use the grants of automation framework. That way you can understand the basics and best practices. In the future, you won't be limited by understanding the general workflow of automation frameworks.
Protractor is an excellent framework too. It is built through Selenium architecture. You need some experience to start using it, and this is related to the documentation offered by the official page. After this debate, I can say that if you had a chance to start with Selenium, take it too.
As we wrap up this episode of Tech Wars, we hope you've enjoyed our exploration of the expansive topic of automated testing, and we hope you learned something new today.
Join us in the next episodes of Tech Wars as we delve into the practical world of cloud services. We will be discussing various cloud services to determine which ones offers the most efficient and reliable service.
If you have any thoughts, don't hesitate to comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and insights. Don't forget to subscribe and share your feedback. Your participation helps us continue to deliver exciting tech content. Thanks everyone for being part of the Tech Watch community, and goodbye.